We're following breaking news out of Florida, where there has been a shooting on the campus of Florida State University. Police confirmed to NBC News that they have one person in custody. A senior Florida law enforcement official says at least one person has died as a result of the shooting incident in Tallahassee. Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare has confirmed at least 6 people were taken to the hospital, one in critical condition, the others in serious condition. No update as of right now on the suspect, but video from the area shows people running from the scene. More video shows some students being led out of buildings with their hands up, escorted by police. And there you see different videos that we have of them leaving different parts of the buildings. A shelter-in-place warning is still in effect for the entire campus. Joining us now, NBC News correspondent Emily Ikeda. Emily, good afternoon. What a horrible story. Yeah. What do we know at this hour?
Yeah, still rapidly developing. We're right. That first alert came out just after noon, 12:01 p.m., saying an active shooter has been reported in the area of Student Union. Police are on scene or on the way, continue to seek shelter and await further instructions. They're still encouraging people at this hour to seek shelter and avoid the area of that Student Union building. It is a popular gathering place, a community center in this sprawling campus, nearly 500 acres. But within that building, as people are gathering there, we know it attracts students, faculty, members of the public as well. We also are learning that one person is in custody. We don't know their status, whether they were injured. And sadly, an update, we are learning that one person has died. We're also hearing that a nearby hospital continues actively receiving patients, Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare. They say that 6 patients they have received, one person in critical condition, the others in serious condition, that we don't know if that one person who tragically has died is considered in that count. But again, a rapidly developing situation. We've seen the pictures, the videos showing the chaos on the grounds of this massive school with tens of thousands of students, people running from the scene, running through traffic. This Student Union building sits between 2 busy roads. You can see some people walking with their arms in the air through buildings as police at this hour continue to go room to room, building to building to make sure no one else is injured, to make sure that there is no other threat. Other colleges in the area monitoring the situation, but say there's no threat on their campus. For example, Florida A&M saying that at FSU, classes and events, they have not only been canceled today, but through Friday. That has just been extended as the investigation continues to play out. Police describing the area of the Student Union building an active crime scene as they continue to investigate. And it has been a massive multi-agency response involving not just the FBI, but law enforcement, campus police, the fire department, highway patrol, fish and wildlife conservation officers. President Trump calling it a horrible thing, a shame, Jose.
Emily Ikeda, thank you so very much for that update. Of course, stay on the story. We're going to continue monitoring it. But I want to bring in retired ATF special agent in charge and MSNBC law enforcement analyst Jim Kavanaugh and NBC senior law enforcement analyst Cedric Alexander. So, gentlemen, what a tragedy. And how many times have you and I not have to go over this? It is so frustrating. It is so just infuriating. Jim, with what we know so far and Emily's brilliant recap of it, what is it that the investigation is doing right now?
Well, they're interviewing the shooter, the killer. They're trying to glean information from that person. You know, did he have any Confederates, any help? Who supplied the weapon to him? Did he buy it himself? What's his motive? Why did he want to shoot people? Was he shooting random people? Was he targeting someone in particular? Is this an empty grudge he has on the university, on a professor, on other students? Is he motivated by hate? You know, what's it all about? So hopefully he's talking to him. A lot of times in cases like this, they do talk pretty freely. And from that, they're going to, you know, want to uncover everything that motivated him so they can use it against him, Jose, because remember, we're going to have a criminal prosecution for state homicide, most likely. So they need all the answers. They need to put it together quickly for the district attorney to prefer the charge.
Cedric, we just showed different videos, and you're seeing now a video of kind of the wide area of where it is. We can see some automobiles, but we've seen different videos of kids either leaving the campus, going through some of the halls and corridors. But it's such a, Cedric, such a large campus. We're talking, I think, 42,000 plus students at that university in Tallahassee. What is it that officials have had to do from that moment where shots rang out and here we're seeing the slow exiting of students with their hands up. Cedric, what is it that officials have had to do, and what are they doing right now?
You know, Jose, having gone to school in Tallahassee there at Florida A&M, which is only a few blocks away from Florida State, they share classes and courses together as sister institutions. However, let me say this, Florida State is a very sprawling institution, and it sits right inside the middle of Tallahassee. That is surrounded by office buildings, that's surrounded by neighborhoods with single-family homes, apartment buildings. So it's a very sprawling campus. And here again, just adjacent to Florida A&M University. So they have a lot of territory there to cover in a very condensed area. So what are they going to do? They always respond to the where the shots are being fired when officers respond to the scene, or they respond to where the shots was last fired. So as you saw the officers running there on campus, they were running towards either shots that they heard or either what was reported as the most recent location of where shots may have been fired. In addition to that, Tallahassee sits there between several major thoroughfares there on Monroe Street and Tennessee Street, and in each of those major thoroughfares, you're going to constantly have your local, your county, and your state police that's traveling up and down those roadways, because here again, the university sits right in the middle of that community. So their response was probably very rapid, along with Florida State University, that has a large and robust police department there on campus.
Yeah, Cedric, I mean, I'm so glad that you're bringing us a little bit more of the picture of what it is that is going on in Tallahassee. It is such a large university campus, right? 40,000 plus students there alone, and then there are other universities. It is, however, a relatively small city, and it also has the center of state government, you know, the governor's mansion. It's all in a very compact area.
And it's all within walking distance.
Right.
Of the state capitol itself is within walking distance of Florida State University. So everything there, very compact together. But you also have a lot of law enforcement in and around that area because of the main thoroughfares that go in and around those campuses. But also here, in addition to, is that you have Florida State University Police Department, which patrols that campus and surrounding areas. And the
Jim,
law enforcement there, like many law enforcement agencies across the country, they work very closely together.